Good afternoon, friends. Myself, Sainath Lambade, and today we are going to discuss about the peripheral nervous system. In the last lecture, we have discussed about the spinal cord from the chapter Control and Coordination, followed by the spinal cord. Now we are going to discuss about the peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system. The peripheral nervous system connects the central nervous system. Central means CNS to the different parts of the body having a receptors and effectors. Having a presence of receptor, those who receive the impulse or whatever the pressure that is received, and effector organs. Depending on the connection of the CNS, the peripheral nerves, depending on the connection of CNS, central nervous system, peripheral nerves are classified into two main types. That peripheral into cranial nerves and spinal nerves connect to the brain. Cranial nerves they connect to the brain, and spinal nerves they are connected to the spinal nerve. All the spinal nerves are mixed nerve. All the spinal nerves are mixed nerves. The autonomic and somatic division are clearly visible. Whatever the nerves they are reaching to the autonomic nervous system, ANS, which control the visceral organs of the body, they are called as the autonomic nervous system. Somatic division means soma means body, and all the surface of the body that is connected by this somatic division, they are clearly visible. Then PNS. PNS has been divided, peripheral nervous system has been divided into mainly two types, that is a somatic nervous system, and another one that is a autonomic nervous system. Somatic nervous system will give command to the skeletal muscles. Whatever the movement of my hand is now doing, that is the skeletal muscles. Then autonomic nervous system will give the command to the internal organs, which are mainly present inside our body. Like a example, that is our heart, then lungs, kidneys, stomach. All these are the visceral organ, or autonomic nervous system is connected to these organs. And glands, whatever the glands which are mainly present in the human body, for example pituitary gland, then again there is having the presence of thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, adrenal gland, etc. So, autonomic nervous system will control the internal organ as well as our glands. So, followed by this, you are seeing this diagram. In this diagram, this is a part of CNS, central nervous system. Followed by this, there is having the presence of diencephalon, that midbrain, pons varus, medulla oblongata, and followed by this last extension of this medulla oblongata continues in the form of spinal cord. This is a spinal cord. So one neuron arises from the spinal cord, one nerve arises from the spinal cord, that will give command to the skeletal muscle. That kind of a command is called as a somatic command. That is called as a somatic command. And another neuron that is mainly present in the spinal cord, that will give another command, that is called as a autonomic command, that will be given to the internal organ or visceral organ. Again another neuron that will give the parasympathetic, and another neuron that will give the sympathetic command. Parasympathetic and sympathetic, as we have discussed in the chapter circulation. Parasympathetic that works when there is body is in the relaxed period or resting phase. That time that will work out with the help of parasympathetic nerves. And when the body is in the emergency conditions, that time who will work, that a sympathetic nerve, that is a sympathetic, they are attached to the visceral organs. So followed by this, we'll see spinal nerves have been divided into 5 types depending on the locations. Actually, major there are four types, but last one we have included in this. Spinal nerves have been divided into five types depending on the location of the spinal nerves. Cervical, that is the region of neck region, and it comprises of 8 pairs of nerves C1 to C8, followed by the cervical. There is a thoracic region, chest region, that is a part of thorax, and they comprises of T1 to T12, means 12 pairs of nerves are arising from the region thoracic. Followed by the thoracic, there is having the presence of lumbar region, that is the region of abdominal part, that is the region of abdomen, and they are also having passing the L1 to L5, 5 pairs of nerves arises from the lumbar. Then followed by the lumbar, there is having the presence of sacral, that is a part or region of the pelvis region below our hip region, that is the pelvis region, that passes S1 to S5, 5 pairs of nerves passes from this region. And followed by the sacral, there is having the last nerve, last pair of a nerve, coccygeal, or that is the region of coccyx, 1 pair of a nerve that passes from this coccyx. Then we'll see the formation of typical spinal nerves. We are going to see about the formation of typical spinal nerves. Spinal nerves. What is meant by the spinal nerve? The nerves which arise from the spinal cord are called spinal nerve. Very simple. Then followed by the spinal nerves are mixed type, as we have discussed, but they have the some nerve fibers of sensory and some motor, so they are called as a mixed type. Each spinal nerve is formed inside the neural canal of vertebral column by the two roots. Which are those two roots? The posterior, or then another one is the anterior, that is also known as the dorsal root or ventral root. Dorsal is a sensory root, then ventral is a motor root. The dorsal sensory and the ventral motor nerves together form a mixed nerve, that is called as a spinal nerve, that form the spinal nerve in the epidural space. They form in the epidural space. Then followed by this, we'll see another slide, that is we'll see, one second. Spinal nerves comes out from both the side of the spinal cord. The spinal nerves arises from the both the lateral side of the spinal cord through the intervertebral foramen. This many times this question has been asked, from where do the spinal nerves comes out? This come out from the lateral side of the spinal cord through the opening. That opening is called intervertebral foramen. Foramen means opening. As soon as it emerges out, when the spinal nerves emerges out of the vertebral column, it shows three branches. Branches has been shown by these nerves which arises from the spinal cord. That first branch is a ramus dorsalis, second is a ramus ventralis, and third is a ramus communicans. Ramus dorsalis, it is a short branch. It innervates the muscles and skin of the dorsal side of the body. Another one, ramus ventralis, it is a longest ventral branch. It innervates muscles and skin of ventral and lateral side of the body. Followed by this, it is a very short as compared to three one branches. The very smallest branch, that is a ramus communicans, it is a short branch, gives out from first thoracic up to third lumbar L3 spinal nerve. It joins to sympathetic ganglion of ANS, autonomic nervous system. As you are seeing the diagram here, This is a part of the TS of the spinal cord. This is a inner side, that is a gray matter. Outer, there is having the presence of white matter. And these are the dorsal horns. They arise in the form of dorsal root, and this is a dorsal root ganglion. Means number of cell bodies or neural bodies, they will going to form the ganglion. And this is the spinal nose, and this gives one branch, that is the ramus dorsalis, and another one is the ramus ventralis, and this one, that is the ramus communicans, and this forms a sympathetic ganglion. This forms a sympathetic ganglion. Sympathetic ganglion is a part of ANS, autonomic nervous system. This is a ventral side or anterior side. This, how do the formation of the spinal nerve take? Like this, the spinal nerve takes the formation. Okay, thank you.